Hi, I'm Charles Heinzelman with Central Texas NIA, and today I have joining me Steve McGarel of PostNet. How are you doing today, Steve?
Good, thank you.
Good. Tell us a little bit about what you do.
All right, so I own a PostNet franchise, which is a national corporation. I call mine PostNet Business Services because over the 5 years that I've been in it, we've just continually added new services that are uncommon in the network, but that I believe have good value for our customers, and it's a good investment for us as additional income streams and diversifying as we go.
Good, excellent, great. So it's more than just mailing things out and printing things.
It's more than
like
just
that.
mailing and shipping and
Yeah.
printing.
So that would be my conception of it. What do you think the biggest misconception of PostNet is out there for you?
With any printer, the general public think it's a commodity. That everyone, if they're going to ship a package, it's got to be the same price with everyone. So they'll phone in from home and say, I've got a package. How much is it going to cost to go to Kentucky? You're going to have to come in.
Yeah.
It's got to be weighed, measured. The contents are going to be checked if they're hazardous, if you're really going to come in. So there's that side. And on the printing side, it's again, people think, it's making copies, but it's not. Every job is, I call every job basically custom, because is your artwork ready is what we call the graphics. Is it print ready? Because you might think it's ready and we're going to tell you it's not. We've got to work on it. What do you want to print it on? What size? How many?
A lot of communication, it sounds like.
Yeah, is it a flat document? Is it folded? Is it a card? Is it a flyer? So people really don't understand. So we've got to go through that from top to bottom before we can really start.
Yeah, it's interesting you say Kentucky, because that's where I'm from. I was born in Kentucky, but don't hold that against me.
I like your cousin.
So along those lines in communication, is there a communication out there, or maybe a motto or a saying that really resonates with you?
For a long time now, I've, I guess, gone down to say there's always a better way. I worked on very large industrial plants internationally. And so there was so much opportunity to take over, look at the low-hanging fruit, and then say, okay, we've done that. What are we going to do from here on in for the next 2, 3, 5 years? And it gets harder and harder to squeeze that little bit extra out of any operation. So I've just always been that. They called me Mr. Optimization in that company. So I came over to Texas, and when I started PostNet up, I decided there's a lot of new technology that I could bring in with the new generation of equipment that PostNet was doing in terms of decor upgrades and so on. And the whole idea was, how far can my partner and I scale up with just the two of us? Because I wanted to delay payroll and employees for absolutely as long as we could.
Yeah.
So just the two of us were able to get everything together, read each other, and we're on a pretty efficient operation.
Is there a life skill, habit, or change that you've had to make?
Yeah, and I never expected to have to make it. I was involved in a very bad auto accident about 3 years ago, and the rehabilitation and the medical treatment was horrendous. Every day was a battle for a couple of years. And as I got better, I started to hone in on what was still wrong, if I could put it that way, and how do I cope with what's happened to me. So the alpha male in me never thought this would happen, but I started the concept of mindfulness, which has become more and more common now. It's where you look at the moment, forget, put away out of your mind anything negative or bad, and don't worry about what's the next step in the future out there here, and just go step by step. And a lot of that involves meditation. So I actually now meditate daily for at least 30 minutes. And I told the therapist, I never believed I'd be there.
Yeah.
And then another thing as I got used to that is there were other frustration issues. And so I started cognitive behavioral therapy, which people think of as treatment for PTSD or anger management. And I've been doing that for 3 months, and the results of that have been absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And it's really just looking at what are the triggers that set you off.
Yeah.
When do they happen? Why do they happen? Is there anything you can do about it? And it's like just in the space of 3 months, I have noticed such a change in the way I adapt when something untoward does happen. The way that I do it is just so much more relaxed, and I've noticed it starting to seep in to other areas of my life. And hopefully, it'll be a new platform that I can work off going forward.
So that's great. Glad to hear all that there. Well, that sounds like some creative approaches to that. Have you ever found yourself where you have a creative block? And when you do have a creative block, what do you do to get past that?
Yeah, when you've got a big job or your own business, there's dozens of things to work on all the time, and you will get bogged down and someone wants something. And so what I found is it just does not pay to keep on going. You get tighter and tighter. So I use a variation of literally sleep on it. Sometimes I have my aha moments in the shower. It's always a joke, but I've had many of them. Sometimes talking something out with my business partner. We'll say something and it starts going. So it's like your subconscious is still working, even though you're having a conversation with someone or doing something else, and then the trigger goes. And you go, Eureka, that's it. Found the answer. Thanks for this, the conversation, because that actually triggered, this is what we're going to do starting tomorrow. So that's how I get past them. It's been pretty effective.
Good. You probably wish you would have found that out earlier in your life, huh? Is there anything else that you wish you would have found out earlier in your career or your life?
Yeah. I've lived in 3 countries, worked in 3 countries, and visited another 50. So I've seen a lot of people move up, move into different jobs and so on. And the nice guy always comes last. If there's a move in a department, you will find that the guy who plays the office politics will be the one to get the job. Although some of us in the same department might say, there was a better candidate. So they don't teach you that in school. But in real life, that is kind of how it works. Don't rock the boat. Do your thing and follow along, and you kind of progress slowly along.
And to wrap everything up here, success is so important to so many people, and the way you get to that success, like you just talked about there, is important as well. What would you define success for yourself as?
So I spent my operational career building up vertical divisions for other big corporations. And at one point in time, I was tired of international travel, and I said to my wife, I have one more startup left in me, and this one's going to be for me. And so the way I look at success is, when you're an entrepreneur, is your business profitable? Is it scaling? Or are you missing the boat on something that you could bring in? Are you getting too complacent? Is the business sellable? What is your exit strategy? You always have to look at your exit strategy, because things can happen along the way, and plan A might become plan B or C. But you actually always have to be looking at, if that happens or that happens, what am I going to do to get out of it? Do I pass it along to children? Do I sell it to a third party? So, and again, I'm I get very involved with my staff, and it's my wife, my son, and me, and 2 employees, and we want them to feel like they can talk to us, good or bad, because we want them to get, if they're frustrated about something and they've got an idea, we want them to come talk to us. And then that way they feel like they're more valued. And a happy employee is a productive employee, and when they're more productive, they get better compensated. So I think that's the management style that we've cultured in our own company, and it's actually working very well.
That's great, and being locally owned is very important, especially nowadays as well. So, Steve, thank you for joining us here today. Definitely a pleasure. And if you have any other questions for Steve McGarel here at PostNet, please feel free to go ahead and reach him at the information you'll find right below here. Take care.